Hey, Pacific Tigers fans, your Director of Athletics, Adam Shore, here with the second edition of our Athletic Director Q&A series. Thank you for all the great questions. Keep them coming in. With that, we'll go ahead and get into this month's questions. John, thank you for that question. Great question. Preseason basketball is quite confusing. In fact, basketball scheduling in general is confusing, but in at least the regular season, we've done a lot of good work behind the scenes of making it simpler. So, for instance, multi-team events are no longer these weird 3+1 games that you have to do different kind of scheduling, whether you play one or not. It's much simpler now. However, preseason basketball is still a little convoluted. And so with that, a bit of a misnomer in the question, we did not play any exhibition games this year. So the NCAA allows you to play what are essentially three different kinds of preseason competitions. So the first is, as you referenced, an exhibition game where a Division I institution can play a non-Division I, Division II, a Division III, and an NAIA school. That could be a public game. You can sell tickets for it. You can broadcast it. You can stream it. You can treat it just like any other game. It does not count towards your team sheet, towards your official record in any which way. We did not play one of those this year. The other kind of game you can play, this is a relatively new one. They're a little bit harder to organize because you have to put some good faith effort and find a third-party partner to help execute, and those are charity exhibitions. This is where you can take a Division I opponent and you can play them in an exhibition, so it looks and feels just like a regular season non-conference competition. You can promote it, you can sell tickets for it, you can stream it. However, all the proceeds from the game, ticket sales and everything, has to go towards a charity, towards some kind of fundraiser, a cancer drive, whatever it might be. So, and with that, you need certainly a lot of planning and preparation. Those have only existed for a few years. There's not a lot of those out here, but that is something we are looking into in the future to do here at Pacific. The last one is what's referred to as the closed scrimmage, or the super secret games that we're not even allowed to talk about. We're not allowed to disclose. We're not allowed to say who we play, no box scores, no fans, no nothing. It's a bit of an archaic thing to have in terms of how we have to just pretend like it didn't happen. Those are actually what we played this year. We played 2 D1 closed scrimmages. So again, by rule, not something I'm allowed to even talk about. Why do schools do that? Schools do that for a number of reasons. The biggest one is obviously caliber of competition. In a traditional exhibition where you're playing a Division II or Division III school, you're playing a Division I team. It also allows you, under closed doors, to be able to compete in different ways that maybe you wouldn't necessarily in a regular game. Run different lineups, pause games at certain iterations, say, hey, we're just going to play the last 10 minutes reserve, or last 5 minutes no bigs, or unlimited timeouts, or whatever you might want to do to prepare for the season. Coaches just come together and they agree on the rules, and that flexibility is a nice tool to have, especially with a team like ours that they're not inexperienced in basketball, but they are inexperienced with each other. So this gives them the opportunity to work on how they gel together better. We obviously want to get as much information out there to our fans. As you noted, John, we want fans buying tickets. We want them to get excited about the team. That's why our great creative team this year has done such terrific work, putting out a lot of great content around our programs to get them excited about basketball. And we have our man behind the camera, EJ, here to thanks for that, our Director of Creative. Really great stuff, and we're going to keep putting more stuff out there. Other ways, obviously, buy season tickets, be at games. John, for those of you that aren't aware, is a Casaba Club member. Casaba Club is our basketball support group. Join the Casaba Club. That's a great way to be informed on things. Casaba Club members are allowed to come to our practices. They just have to give us a heads up. So, John, next time you're up from Tucson, make sure you shoot us a note so we can get you to practice and see that team. But we'll keep on putting up as much content as we can and give you all plenty to cheer on for. For my good friend Jim Nagoni. Jim, thank you very much for the question. Double alum of ours, and his family is the namesake of our dental school. And Jim's also a former athletic department employee, currently raises money for that aforementioned dental school. So, good friend of the program, always has great questions for me. And that's a great one, and a very opportune question in terms of timing, because we are dedicating that building, the construction for the groundbreaking this week here on Thursday. So very good timing with that question. Really excited. It's one of our first major capital projects in quite some time. This is really the missing piece of what we have facility-wise. We have some of the best facilities in the West Coast Conference, and we've been lacking a little bit in some of our team space, especially around our court sports. So the building itself, the student athlete center portion of that, will be new team lounge, locker room, space for our court sports, women's volleyball, men's and women's basketball, as well as film rooms. A space for those teams to call home. We have great spaces as it is in the PIAC here, but we've outlived their effective use, and we just need something modern and new and fresh for those programs in this very competitive recruiting landscape. So really excited about that portion. The other portion, and this is one where, this fits a couple different molds for us, and that's the sport medicine side. We have an unbelievable sports medicine team here of true professionals led by Chris Pond, who that space, yes, will be named after, who's been with us for over 3 decades, is really a pillar in the athletic training community, has a great team under him. We also have a fantastic athletic training program, including a master's program. We're the only accredited master's program in athletic training in Northern California. And so we have a great higher ed component that fits under our athletic training wing too. And we love our athletic training space, but it is way too small for 400 some odd student athletes, as well as an academic unit that we have an obligation and a duty to help give those opportunities to as well. So what we're going to end up with is an athletic training space, a modern, high-tech, cutting-edge space that is nearly 3 times the size of our current space. So it'll be a fantastic place for all of our athletes, multiple teams at a time, to be taken care of, with hot and cold tubs, with treadmills in them, inlaid in them, multiple taping tables, and plenty of space for any kind of exercise or routine that a student athlete will be put through, either through an AT, a PT, or a team doctor. The other part I mentioned, our academic unit, will have all the space in the world for those young men and women who are involved in those programs to get that kind of experience and not be at the expense of one another. The space was, again, just too small. We would have times where we could barely get a team in, let alone students in there too, or vice versa. Now that's not going to be a problem. So it really is going to be a capstone South Campus athletics milestone kind of building for us. We are breaking ground on that on Thursday. Should take us about a year, but really excited to show. We'll have some great renderings and whatnot for that project coming out soon. But it's really going to be a game changer for us. Another timely question is where basketball season is upon us. Yes, that's I believe you're referring to the donor tailgate zone area behind our courtside seats on the sideline opposite our benches. And that was actually an idea from a donor of ours who, based on their experience from last year with the Tiger Den, which for those of you that are aware, we had a donor zone that was behind the basket on the baseline nearest our home team bench last year and years prior, called the Tiger Den, which had a lot of the same amenities with the buffet and the bar and high top tables and whatnot and monitors, but was admittedly a little tight because of the lack of space. It could get jammed up pretty easily. Just didn't feel very welcoming difficult to see over the risers or what's going on in the court. So that gave us the idea, the donor, hey, what if we did this? And it was from a volleyball event, a preseason event that we had a dinner after a scrimmage earlier this year. We had the bleachers back and we had these tables and we had a nice setup right opposite the court. And like, hey, this might have some merit. Let's try this out. Obviously, pushing the bleachers back affects what was the student section, but admittedly, we want to make for a very raucous environment. This allows us to push the crowd more into the actual chairback seat. It looks great on TV. A much more condensed environment from a fan experience and from a competitive standpoint. And what we found so far is just a very cool, welcoming space. We had our first iteration last night, our women's basketball win against UCSD. Needs to grow a little bit more. We need more amenities, and we'll debut that here in our opener against Life Pacific. But again, with the constraints of the facility, we love Spanos. It is an older building. Not much has been done since the original construction in '81. I take our fan amenities and entertainment value that we provide very seriously. We have constraints on things like concessions. Only have 4 points of sale and 2 concession stands, and limited offerings otherwise. So what can we do in lieu of major construction to create a better environment? And so we're going to keep adding and growing that space. I think we're going to, there's a couple other pretty fun ideas in terms of some games and some other stuff that are percolating to make it a fun space for donors as well. So who gets access to that space? Casaba Club members, our basketball support group, get access to that space regardless of where you sit. PIF members and Impact Fund donors that give more than $5,000 a year get access to that space regardless of where you sit. And our courtside seat holders also get access to that space. Anybody who wants information on those seats, on joining at those levels to ensure they get access to those spaces, please reach out to either myself, to Tim Dixon, or Michael Nice on our staff. We'll make sure we put their contact information in the section below the video here. But we're also going to be debuting a number of features from our partners, from our food partners, our beer and wine partners, a lot of tastings, a lot of fun experiences and chances to do stuff that you wouldn't otherwise get to do in the venue. So every game will be a little different. Every game will be have some fun new features, and really excited to give those fans that support us at a high level just a wonderful time. No matter what's going on the court or who we're playing, they're going to have a good time no matter what. Well, thank you again for all those great questions. Have more in the pipeline, so I actually probably got enough to keep me busy for the next 2 or 3 months, but please keep them coming. Timely questions as the season progresses. As you see things going on in our programs you want to have questions about, happy to entertain those. Keep sending this to us via email or social media. Until next time, though, go Tigers.